Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism. This has got to end. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
Hello guys, welcome to Apollo 35. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. We just heard detailed information that is being given by the congressman about the findings that have been carried out by Dodge, that is being handled by LMOX, which is being headed by LMOX under the 47th president of the United States of America. And a lot of things are unraveling on a day-to-day basis, especially what the funds that were supposed to be used by USAID is meant to be used for. And ironically, it's exposing the corruption in the American system, in the government, and what the corruption has done all over the world, the level of decadence. And I want to say from this aspect, it might sound too sudden, but I think the Trump-led administration is doing a very good job, especially when it comes to taxpayers' money. It is important that people know what their money is being used for and where it's being channeled. And it's now clearing to the world that most of the terrorism that Nigeria has battled with over the years are being funded by this agency. How could you dispense money without really knowing what those funds are being used for, especially in places where you know there are certain restrictions? And so we're going to look at other content creators. We want to know what your thoughts are, because the disbanding of this USAID is, as far as I'm concerned, is good news. It would mean that certain regions that have been disturbed by unnecessary turbulence would now begin to experience certain level of peace. So let's know what your thoughts and opinion are in the comment section.
You know, I mentioned this countless times before, that Boko Haram, bandits, ISWAP, Janim, and most of them, the weapons they get is actually funded by some clandestine foreign operators, because they are the ones that are supplying them weapons. Now, the Doge expose about the USAID has confirmed that actually Boko Haram and all these terrorists are getting their weapons through the funding that is coming from USAID. Just last year, USAID spent $824 million in Nigeria. Where did the money go to? Do you know what it means by 824 million naira? When you convert it dollars, when you convert it to naira, you find out that it's 1.3 trillion naira. Meaning each state, out of the 37 states that we have, each can have up to 36 billion naira. Yet, this is what they claim to have spent in childcare, mortality, some education endowments and co. But what did you see? Nothing. How did the money come in here? Where did it go to? Ladies and gentlemen, this money goes to the funding of Boko Haram and the kidnappers that used to kill and destroy destroy our land. That is the operation. So what Doge has done has exposed it. If you go to the last video I posted on my page, it's a United States congressman that is confirming this statement. A US congressman made a speech by saying that Boko Haram, bandits and terrorists that are operating in the Sahel, all of them are mostly funded by the USAID. Just check the last video I posted. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is going to be great. Terrorists are now ending. What Donald Trump is doing in the United States is exposing the entire global corruption scandals. This is just a tip of an iceberg. More is going to be released across the African elite. Most of them that are in collaboration with criminals to destroy our land are soon going to be exposed, and we will have chance to reclaim our countries and our continent for the betterment of our people and our future. God continue to bless Africa, and may God continue to bless President Donald Trump and President Vladimir Putin and even President Xi Jinping. These guys are actually doing a very great job for the global community. I want to salute Elon Musk on the initiative of Doge. It's actually working.